In this film, we will walk more than 100 kilometers with heavy backpacks, making our way through the guarded perimeter of the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. We will encounter abandoned villages and the ghost town of Pripyat, legendary locations from the game Stalker, the radioactive Red Forest, an anti-aircraft missile base with remnants of air defense, and the largest antenna ever built in the USSR. It will be epic. In just 1 week, we will see the most fascinating things these places hide. Like Sidorovich always said,
"Well, good hunting, Stalker."
When you sit by the fire and watch the tongues of flame devour the dry branches, you can't help but think that inside each of us burns our own campfire. Sometimes it helps and lights the way, and sometimes it can turn into chaos and slip out of control. The fire has a memory. It always reminds us that everything in this world will one day burn, and only the ash keeps the truth. And here I sit, hearing the echo of times long gone. Memories return again and again, as if the fire itself calls me, to tell of what once was, and perhaps right here beside this campfire, the time has come to reveal one of those stories. A story full of wildness and recklessness. A story that I want to bring back to life again.
Right now at night you can't see a damn thing. And he went into the forest.
We will even cross Chernobyl by wading through.
Right now, we have reached the forbidden border. Before me lies the River, which unofficially marks the boundary of the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone.
Well, yeah, it's like 20 to 30 centimeters to the silt. But it can still suck you down half a meter. Just look at what it's doing, damn. This guy is absolutely fierce. Yeah, the depth comes out to about 30 to 40 centimeters. He can't just suddenly go boom and sink straight into the depth, can he?
Perhaps.
I stepped down into the river, and I'm crossing it by wading through. I found this spot during my very first trip into the zone. Here the water doesn't rise above the knee. I'm approaching the other bank.
So basically we only take off the pants, the underwear and the sweater stay on.
My team is following me. We are about to live inside the guarded perimeter for about a week, and right now, we're heading toward a kind of checkpoint. The first village on the edge of the zone.
The villages on the left bank burned. The western ones burned too. Most of the villages were consumed by fire. Lubyanka burned down. And now we found a house where we will spend the night.
I suggested spending the night in the attic for safety.
It's warm here. It's cool. It actually feels just fine.
We slept soundly, regained our strength. That's good, because we'll need it for our adventures.
So, good morning everyone. Just now we heard the roar of a bear.
Yeah, that was Vlad snoring.
No, that really was a bear's roar. It wasn't Vlad.
I wouldn't say it was bears, but it was clearly a roar. Maybe there are moose wandering around here.
This is not my first expedition to Chernobyl. All my experience consists of 13 expeditions, half of them on a commercial basis. But the other half, as they say, is for the soul. I've come here with girlfriends and with friends. I even celebrated 3 birthdays in Pripyat. Many of us stalkers decode the abbreviation CHCO as Chernobyl Recreation Zone. And there's a certain logic in this. Later I'll explain what it's about, but I think you'll figure out yourselves. After breakfast, we set out on a long journey, confidently keeping our azimuth to the north, toward the heart of Chernobyl. We're heading toward the ghost city of Pripyat, and now we've come to the village of Glinka. It's a remote settlement, a way station for illegals like us. The danger level from security here is almost minimal. There's time to get used to it, and so, to speak, acclimatize. This village has long been abandoned. Right after the explosion of the nuclear plant, it was evacuated within a single year, and since then, only stalkers like us dwell here. Look at me. A child's bicycle stands overgrown in the bushes. Once upon a time, someone rode it, and now it's no longer needed by anyone. I'll leave it here, right where it belongs. Such artifacts are found everywhere here. They are more than 35 years old, but taking anything with you is forbidden. It's a criminal offense. I'll gather a bit of wild rose hips. You can make a really great tea from them.
Do you think we can eat here? The apples that grow on the local trees?
It's not dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Нет, это не dangerous.
That's a viper. That's a grass snake.
We're moving actively. Calories are burning in a flash. This process is almost impossible to capture on camera. Even if you try to convey it, the viewer finds it hard to feel, to understand how difficult it is to walk. These endless distances, constant stress, heavy backpacks, but we'll show it all as it is. There's about 1 mile left to the village we are heading to. The farther beyond the perimeter, the more dangerous and harder it becomes. And this is an ordinary road for a stalker in the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone.
Since childhood I dreamed of this place, not really understanding what or how it was. I always wanted to come here, always imagined there were some mutants, some kind of unique atmosphere. You know, I wasn't wrong, there are mutants of their own here. The atmosphere is simply indescribable, and when I realized that I could come here, bring people here, show them the sheer incredibility of this place, I said I would keep doing it as long as my legs can carry me, and to understand that for tens of kilometers you are alone, retreating into yourself in this slightly radioactive land. I find it beautiful. You could walk here forever.
A strange thought, to walk forever. But would we really want to spend eternity in constant motion? In a relentless race from an invisible death that you cannot smell, cannot feel, we've entered the 30-kilometer exclusion zone, but it doesn't become radioactive right away. Only across the river we cross does it start. The first pockets of radiation appear here, and they're slowly, and it builds up closer to the center of the zone. We've already gone far enough past the boundary, deeper inside, and here begins the so-called yellow zone. Here you need to switch on the dosimeter and start monitoring the radioactive situation. 6 confident, well-equipped stalkers begin their journey, each pursuing their own goals. What unites us is one thing: the thirst to walk the whole path, to see this place as it truly is, something that most will never have access to. Here you must stay as quiet as possible. Along the road, there are just work vehicles driving. They go on business from Chernobyl and back into Chernobyl. Along this road, forestry vehicles drive too, so that means there is infrastructure inside the zone. They drive exactly along this road.
We'll move fast but carefully.
You know, I love telling newbies, fast but slow. Interpret it as you will. Guys, let's probably head out along the right side, or maybe let's just go straight down the road, take our chances, but everyone keep your eyes open. We're switching into Chiki-Brikki mode. We mustn't rustle too much, but autumn leaves give us no chance. This only complicates our stealth component. Plus, we're moving in daylight, in the open field. In the light, we're visible like on the palm of the hand. And now we'll be running toward one of the central roads. We need to stay alert. Well then, Chiki-Brikki and we're kings. We call these roads the centrals. They're the busiest arteries of the exclusion zone, and you must keep away from them to stay in the shadows, not to expose the whole expedition to unnecessary risk. Here no one cares about protocol, except those who profit from it. See, that's exactly my point. I mentioned it a minute earlier, and he'd have clocked us without fail, dude. Alright, consider us already in the village. Now we'll rest a little, and then move out. Let's move straight ahead. Let's go. Here you invent the roads yourself, and this trek was no exception. Often walking along convenient, well-trodden paths is more dangerous than pushing through bushes and swamps. Few dare to go there. On the hardest route, you won't meet enemies nor a sneaky police ambush. In this case, I provide safety for the group at the cost of comfort and movement. But here there's no choice. These steps and forests have their own subtleties. But we're gradually adapting to all of this. What I love about the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone is that all these vast open spaces, they give a kind of inspiration, a certain thrill. They can spot you from every side, just as you can spot them, right? But it's an endless game between the police and the urban explorers. And that's really cool. And here are the first animals. Look, horses are running here. This is a typical situation for the Chernobyl zone. There's a very large population of these creatures, but we don't touch them, and they don't touch us. Our goal is to keep moving forward. Nature has taken over this place. Man has left, and now nothing stops it from consuming everything around. We've already entered the village. Here we'll sit for half an hour, maybe an hour, to realize that darkness is slowly falling. In this village, we must stay quiet, because I know information that here, the police like to set ambushes and other stuff. So the whole group behind me is at risk right now. It's crucial for us to stay very quiet here. Walking along the main street of Rezazai, and now another house, suitable for an hour to eat, to have a snack. Everything is so beautiful. It's impossible to put into words how cool it is. Here. And here's our house. By the way, friends, here's our house. A house well known in stalker circles. It's a bad choice, since it has been busted by law enforcement 100,000 times, but that didn't stop us. I checked the old classic mark on the door latch and carefully step inside our new shelter for the next couple of hours. So here we are inside one of the houses. This place was refitted by stalkers so that you could chill, rest. They set up a table, covered it. And here we have another room. There is, by the way, look what's here. A map of Pripyat, a map of the zone, a whole stalker headquarters. This is the philosophy of illegal tourism. These houses serve as shelters, pass from group to group. On this table are maps and diaries of those who were here before us, left as a message for the next ones. And also, there are notes. September 21st, 21. The hut is good, but we're spending the night in another one. This one we found by accident. Rain every day, but it's fine for us old school guys. There are 3 of us, 2 of us for the first time. Good luck to everyone. Don't leave trash. July 10th, 21. No water, no minerals either. August 10th, 21. Shabbat Shalom. We have 9 bodies together with Uncle John and Aunt Sarah. Once again, we came to breathe in the radiation. Kolya left a white mushroom, and Madam a little snake. Here a culture has formed. A special slice of people searching for true freedom. Thanks to this, the zone seems to breathe with its own life. Everyone who comes here leaves behind a trace, like a mark on a map, an Instagram post, a line in a diary. I am in an abandoned village, or simply a story told by the fire. All of this, the shared legend of these places. We could turn it off. It's hot. We try it. Awesome.
It is my first time in the zone. When you get here, right before your eyes, everything seems to happen, as if you were taken back into that time. You arrive and you see that there is not a single living soul. These ruined houses, you actually feel what happened back in '86, when the nuclear power plant exploded, and all these people fled from here. And should I get to Pripyat without being caught, it will be absolutely amazing.
This detachment, it attracts, it draws you with something calm, measured breathing of nature and an atmosphere so ruined, abandoned. And this, I would recommend everyone to feel for themselves. We are already leaving the village. Ahead of us lies a very important task. We need to bypass the vector. Roughly speaking, the radioactive waste storage. There are tons of cameras, and we have to pass through. Past. It's truly a cat and mouse game, but on a territory of 2,600 square kilometers. It's about the size of the European country Luxembourg. Just think about it. Night is falling, and filming in the dark hours is difficult, but I know one route where you can basically shoot because you can shine flashlights strongly enough. It's an abandoned road. Everyone tries to avoid it because it lies in the core of the Red Forest, with the infamous Red Forest on both sides of the road. I've already switched on the dosimeter. I hear the clicks of the background, starting slowly, clicking more and more often with each kilometer. Comrades, as you can see, are conducting analysis of the situation through a monocular. We are already approaching the vector. I see poles. Mobile communication relays above the forest I see. And this is the symbolic border of the 10-kilometer exclusion zone. Right now, we are inside the so-called 10. It seems so easy. We've stepped into the red zone. And here begins all the most secret and interesting things. Look, guys, look at this and then tell me. Is Stalker bad? Or maybe this. Inside the guarded perimeter, it's very convenient to do dirty deeds. Here no one will see and no one will forbid. You can go as far as an ecological catastrophe and cover it up with a couple of bought papers. All of this right here. These logs, forest cutting.
The fires are truly terrifying, destroying literally everything in their path. And looking at these scenes, my heart just bleeds, because what's happening is the forests are being wiped out. Forests that had only just revived. After human technological interference, they had begun to recover, to flourish. In the exclusion zone, unique species of plants and animals appeared. And all of this is now, in the literal sense, dying.
The fires, and they want to blame stalkers. Everything pinned on us. Only because it's all about money. And it's huge money. But that's not my business. I don't judge or claim. The bloodsucker will be their judge. We sit beneath the plaster or under the power lines. We're resting. We passed the vector. All is fine. Now the next village is Chistogalovka, and from there, it's a straight path to Pripyat itself.
I like the zone and that's all. Nothing else appeals to me. I'll walk around catching stalkers who are looting something, and I'll bypass them from the side.
Don't ask. I myself don't know what that was. So here we are. We've arrived in the village of Chistogalovka, and the background here is 45 microinkins right here on the asphalt. Look, let's step into the bushes now. Stop. What's happening on the roadside? And listen carefully. I won't go too deep into all the terms and numbers, but radiation is no joke. So these are the numbers we have here, and this is only the beginning. One thing must be understood. During the accident, the levels were cosmic. Today, the zone has been well decontaminated. With proper knowledge and attitude, the figures don't seem so frightening. Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant, barely visible. I'll show it to you a bit later. We'll be heading out, and Pripyat is less than 5 kilometers away. But from here, we can already see the plant. Now I step off the road into the bushes. Watch, I'm moving aside. Never try to tempt fate when dealing with radiation. The price of a mistake here is far too high. Guys, look at the background. 806 microinkins, about 1 millirinkin, gamma plus beta, roughly. This is unsafe. Wait, dude, stop. Stop, so that makes 11 millirinkins. It turns out.
No, it's 1 milliroentgen.
Yes, the point is correct here. It's radiating normally, guys. So we're pulling out from here. I'm breathing in radionuclides right now. This is absolutely not the same background as it was here during the accident. But nevertheless, it's not as safe as many claim. In general, everything will be fine.
From here to the reactor, if you take it straight, just lift off and fly, it would be about 7 kilometers.
I'm at the Chernobyl station, but on this camera, it doesn't come across well. And now we move on into the ghost town itself. Nighttime, Pripyat revealed itself in all its dead, yet most inspiring beauty. Along the way, we greeted the symbol of this city. All of us are now on the Ferris wheel. Unfortunately, dogs are barking there now, and we need to leave this place as quickly as possible. Barely fighting off a pack of bloodthirsty pseudo-dogs, we successfully made it back to our home. We've entered Pripyat, properly speaking, already refitted the apartment. Cover the windows so we can't be seen from the street. clearing the room of extra furniture. The first thing we wanted was strong tea. It added coziness and atmosphere. So, we live here, in this neighborhood, and we'll need to exit through the water pumping station to another way out. We need to collect water. We could in principle get it at Jupiter, but there it's bad. So we'll be drawing it at the pumping station. The first problem with Stalker life is finding drinking water. Right now we've got a whole bag with maybe about 20 liters for the group. Now, once we get home, we'll filter it. It's impossible to carry enough water for the entire trip. We have to adapt. Water is taken from sources already checked by other stalkers and filtered with a portable filter. Roles are divided. Someone handles filtration. Someone cooks the grub. And someone takes a bullet, but I think I won't say anything more. It's clear enough already. Here's that very rosehip. These berries have more vitamin C than a lemon. Such an infusion restores strength after a long journey, strengthens the immune system, and warms you in the cold nights of the Chernobyl zone. Stalker life is that concentrate which breaks most people. If you can endure such a regime, it means you're psychologically resilient and can handle any hardship. Good night, little ones.
The city of Pripyat was fortunate. Those who built it managed not only to put a piece of their heart, the creation of their hands and mind, they also found the courage to break traditions and stereotypes. And above all, such a destiny, it seems to us, awaits cities that are lucky. For the first builders, the city of Pripyat was fortunate.
Construction in the USSR was a matter of national pride. From laborers to engineers, everyone took part. Every block of every house was joined with precision, precisely to raise the city of atomic workers near the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant. No one could even remotely imagine, even theoretically, that something terrible could happen. The city became a symbol of technological progress and the future. Here families were created, children were born, plans were made, and a stable life was envisioned. Just 2 kilometers from here, hundreds of tons of uranium were carefully laid into the reactor core. It gave colossal energy, heating water into steam and turning the turbines. But something went wrong. The URBANX design had a vulnerability. Under certain conditions, the reactor, instead of damping the reaction, accelerated it. A small mistake was enough, and the accumulated energy slipped out of control. At the end of April 1986, this monster exploded, destroyed the 4th power unit, and changed the course of history forever. The consequences of the accident were catastrophic. Firefighters tried to extinguish the radioactive blaze at the cost of their lives. And even robots, which simply couldn't withstand the radiation and burned out. Many efforts were in vain. One of the helicopters came too close and crashed right onto the reactor roof. The Chernobyl disaster claimed dozens of lives immediately, and thousands in the years that followed. Pripyat was deserted within hours, turning into a dead city.
The Council of People's Deputies announces that due to the accident at the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant in the city of Pripyat, an unfavorable radiation situation is developing.
Is the situation favorable today? Dozens or even hundreds of illegal tourists, almost all year long, tread the roads of the zone, in search of new adventures and in search of themselves.
Good morning, everyone. I will. Meet the sunrise. Over there, in the 16-story buildings, the lights are on.
The zone wakes up together with us. A full day awaits. Let's take a look at how we walked through the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone together. Here lived almost 50,000 people. But already a day after the explosion, the population was put into more than 1,000 buses and taken away to different corners of the country. The evacuation lasted just over a day. The city that only yesterday was noisy fell silent just as swiftly as if a giant speaker had been pulled from the socket, and over the concrete high-rises hung dead silence. Unusual, frightening, yet natural and authentic. There are no coincidences. At first we thought, or rather our comrade thought, that this was militarized security in the zone because they're all in camouflage with blood type written on them. Basically the same disguise. So guys, it's fine. And now, as it happens, we're going to head, meet them, and take a little walk. Our first day here begins with silence. We step out onto the balcony, pour ourselves coffee, and gaze into the empty streets. There are no car horns. No children's laughter, only the wind playing in the broken windows. We listen as if trying to catch the breath of this ghost city. You can sense how everything is arranged here. What rules this place dictates. To feel its vibration, its energy. You think I'm joking? Not at all. Here, every wall and every brick is infused with the grief of thousands. We absorb not only gamma rays, but also the memory of that day, when an entire life stopped in a single moment. We made a little noise with the drone, and now we go walking. We step out of our shelter toward the unknown. Yet we have a clear plan, and that keeps us sharp.
Hello.
Good day.
Hi.
Fourth day. We wander in the forest.
So, quiet, everything's fine?
Silence is deceptive. It keeps its secrets.
Our path runs through a couple of blocks, where the chance of meeting a tour is highest. It's the season now. On the streets, there are dozens of legal tourists, but we move through the courtyards, the same kind where my childhood passed. For me, this is not just a walk. It feels like I've stepped into a past overgrown with shrubs and rust. Standing here, we have a small advantage because we see everyone, while we ourselves are not so easily noticed. Our direction is toward the school. We see inside what is happening in Lazurny. We see toward Kurchatov Street, in the direction of Kurchatov Street.
They've already left. We just need to check.
Go take a look then.
I'll take a look now.
Basically, we're standing here waiting until the tour leaves from the Lazurny swimming pool, so we can show it to you.
So, the bus is running. Looks like they're boarding people. They'll be leaving. I think in about 5 minutes it'll be quiet.
We're like ninjas in the shadows, checking the status of the site, hiding in the nearest building, to safely watch the tours from above. No need to climb to the roof. We'll see everything now from the balcony. It's the best vantage point. That's how you sign up for a legal tour and never even know that you're being watched by sly, shining eyes. We're standing now on the balcony, probably on the 7th floor. Basically, we're waiting for the moment when we can slip into Lazurny.
It's my first time in the zone. I decided to test my strength, to see if I can walk 70 kilometers. And besides, it's fascinating to visit the closed zone, since in just a couple of months it will shut down, and getting in will be much harder. It's like a trial. Damn it.
For strength?
Yes, it's a test of endurance, to check my strength and the strength of spirit.
Seems it's all quiet now. I gave the command. Everyone is going down, and we're heading there. Before leaving the building, we need to make sure no one is there. We chose to exit through the window, on the far side of the building, so we don't risk the main entrance. Special places demand special decisions. Unconventional, yes, but this is still an illegal excursion, a real mission, and there's no room for mistakes. Right now, someone is inside the pool, and we can hear them. Maybe you can too. Listen. For now, we're unseen. While they're exposed, we hold the advantage.
Yes, it's an excursion.
Record it, and let's move slowly. According to my information, the gap between excursions is steadily about 20 minutes. A kind of shift change. Until the next tour, there's little time. After wandering a bit, we came out to the hall with the main pool. These clocks have stopped forever. This is the youth sports school. The atmosphere here is really awesome, guys. And we did it. We're now in Lazurny. Look over there. The heart of Pripyat's sporting life. The archive footage still holds that rhythm. Bursts of joy and emotion. Competitions were held here under the motto, faster, higher, stronger. It was not just a place of rest, but a true sports arena. Children dove into its waters. Athletes trained here. Families gathered. Tournaments were staged in swimming, in water polo, contests among workers' collectives and students. On its lanes, Real sporting passions boiled. It kept working for 12 more years after the evacuation, remaining a rare island of safety and normal life for the liquidators. While Pripyat was sinking into decay, here the chlorinated water gave a sip of reality, where everything else was doomed. But today before us, there's only silence and ruin. The tiles have crumbled, the water is long gone. Instead of echoes of voices, the creak of rusty metal.
Look at this atmosphere. Huge open windows through which the forest can be seen. Grown wild here. And so, together with this abandoned pool, it creates an unusual mood.
Your feelings about this place?
Oh, it's a very abandoned, very huge, very abandoned, very sick feeling to be here.
And here in this sports hall, once upon a time, someone played basketball, and they felt athletic, confident, strong. That's a helicopter. I hear a helicopter. We're leaving this place. In general, free wandering here won't work. There's constant activity. But our group for now is working smoothly and united. That's the key to success in our mission. Let's head to the school. Friends, let's go. Official fines for breaking into the zone are just pocket change. It's only administrative, like being caught with a cigarette at a bus stop. But the real horror is elsewhere. Imagine you've walked half the way, already almost at Pripyat, and right there they catch you. Then everything goes by protocol. Through Chernobyl, they bus you back to Kiev. And that's it, the whole journey. All the progress you carried, into nothing. That's why we try not to get caught. The paths are already trampled by tourists, and we need to be super careful. Let's go this way. By the way, what does the dosimeter say? 55 microinkins per hour. For Pripyat, the norm is 100 to 150. It was well decontaminated, but nevertheless, it remained with residual background. And here comes the excursion bus. We need to boldly dash right in front of them, hoping they won't notice us. Guys, let's move, hurry. And everyone, in the most obvious way, started crossing this road, one by one, only hoping that the driver of that vehicle won't see us. We hid in the thick overgrowth among the yards. This is our natural and organic cover. Nature takes its own, and we take ours from it. Just pay attention, guys. Right here is an open street where cars drive. Quiet. There's another bus. Today it's a real crowd. Luck is on our side, but only if they don't notice us. And we're approaching one of the places where cesium isotopes intertwined with innocent children's destinies.
It feels as if a crowd of people lives here. But in reality, this is a ghost town. And there isn't a single living soul.
We stepped into the filthy aftermath of human error, which with time was cleverly veiled by caring Mother Nature. But was forgiveness truly earned? Is man worthy? Carrying such a dubious portfolio as the Chernobyl disaster, to argue with this nature? It's a rhetorical question, but as we see for now, the forest and greenery prevail. Thousands of broken faiths made our presence here today possible. But are those sacrifices worth it? For a few determined stalkers to wander these ruins and call it heroism. Yet the past cannot be rewritten. It is already history. We respect it, but as they say, what has been has passed. A dense, solid forest has grown over the territory. The concrete jungle. We push through the houses as if through thick thickets. In recent times, repeaters were set up in Pripyat. Now there's decent signal, but not everywhere. On the rooftops, it's fine, but here between the buildings, not really. Meanwhile, the radiation level is 36 microinkins. We keep moving together. One team. We must stay united. We must think as one. And here's the first visual contact. but they don't see us. We have the advantage. We wait until the excursion leaves. Look, check it out. It's just a regular tour. Man, I had this situation once, when a group passes, and they don't care. They never look. You know why? They don't expect. They're not waiting for anyone. Let's head to the school. We probably sat in ambush for 40 minutes, and finally moved on to the next point. This is the school's facade, and part of the architectural decor of that time. So this is school number 5. We're here. We break inside, stepping onto the schoolyard, only emptiness and wind. Yet once every morning here, there were assemblies, the anthem played, and solemn speeches. Empty walls answer with echoes, turning into scenery for a survival game. On the second floor of the gym, the rope still hangs from the ceiling. I grab it and climb higher and higher, as if competing with the ghosts of the past.
I go into the zone only because here there is silence and calm. First of all, I want to come here to rest away from people and to listen to the silence. Here there is always silence. You go up to the roof. On the roof you can sit and watch everything happening. Watch the station. Watch the zone. When you walk into the zone, I understand all the difficulty of the route. And I always reach Pripyat, legs destroyed. On the way back you curse yourself, swearing you'll never come here again. But once home, a week passes, and you're ready to head out somewhere again. You start missing these places.
I go into the zone because I decided to test myself, to see how much I can endure. All these burdens, the path turned out heavy after all, since it was my first time, and for me it was. I basically understood what I was heading into, but to walk such a distance, 40 kilometers to Pripyat, and with 25 kilograms on my shoulders, seemed quite demanding after all.
To hear the different views of each participant in this location, a special experience, because everyone pursues their own unique goal. This place first destroyed countless lives, only to unite new ones today. It carries its own utterly insane notions. Now we're approaching, roughly speaking, the ring road, where patrols often drive. And here it's about 150 to 160 microinkins per hour. Now we're passing the water station, toward the port cranes. And once again we see the rusty symbol of the zone, barbed wire. That fenced off all of Pripyat. We crawl under the spiked barriers, risking being noticed, because we came out onto the ring road, used for patrols. Easy to move here, but the chances of being spotted are very high. This is the boundary of the city of Pripyat, and we, after more than 30 years, come here and live in these houses, in these apartments. But time is fleeting. And just as radiation has its half-life, so too do human wounds heal with its passing. We approach the pumping station. Friends, here stalkers, draw water for themselves. This is one of the most popular spots among illegals. It's an old pumping station. Here, since time immemorial, stalkers have drawn water, and I've taken it here many times, and so have many others. The background level is completely normal. The water looks dirty, but after filtration, it's quite suitable for drinking. And now begins the most dangerous part of today. The dosimeter already starts showing normal amounts of radiation, because here, we are the location called the Sand Plateau. But originally this place was meant for building the 6th micro-district of Pripyat. Here we have, roughly speaking, a forest of radioactive signs, because there are so many plaques with the words radioactivity, radiation. Radiation here is not exactly above the norm, but it's already kind of. Plus minus gamma, plus beta, roughly. Already 200 microinkins. That's not very good, so it doesn't really suit us. Now, 237, look. Alright, we go that way. Beneath us lies an entire heap of radioactive waste brought from all of Pripyat. Bathtubs, batteries, all kinds of antennas. stoves, anything that gave off radiation. They dumped it here, buried it. That's exactly why the background is like this. I look like some kind of fool. We see that very exploded Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant, the fourth reactor unit, which blew up on April 26th at 1:23 in the night. The legendary chimney that became the symbol of the accident of the exclusion zone was dismantled, and over the reactor block they installed a giant metal arch, a lead sarcophagus. The structure holds back radioactive dust, not allowing it to break outside. Getting close, I probably would not manage. But here my own uncle Oleg once worked, and in the family archive, unique footage remains, which you will not see anywhere else. He filmed from the chimney of the third reactor block, doing some kind of work there. Right beneath his feet lay that very station, which today the whole world knows as the symbol of the catastrophe. The sun is already setting. We need to make it to the port cranes, but they're still quite far. These signs are placed in spots where it really radiates. This is that very place. Invisible death. I think it will be beautiful from where the view opens onto the sunset. We want to meet the sunset there and shoot a little video with the drone, moving through an insanely beautiful location. The coolest graphics and a gripping storyline. It's for this illusion that everyone comes here to forget and to escape. Almost arrived. Damn, impossible to put into words. How massive and how enormous they look. Guys, check it out. I don't know how to convey it in words. Unreal. These port cranes waited for us at the most perfect moment of weather.
And here's a guy with a hefty gun. Come closer. Let's have a talk.
I begin the ascent, moving upward with confidence, watching the breathtaking beauty of the zone. The pure essence of these adventures surrounds me. Here are my friends. But these metal structures inspire no trust. Absolutely none. It's hard to cope with my fear of heights. I will try. On this platform, there's plenty of space. But we must go even higher to the very peak. I'm filming against the sun, not sure if I'm visible there or not. But, guys, this is really high and really cool. Behind me is a concentrated palette of life. I managed to capture the most striking frames from such a cool angle. This is something everyone should feel. To see the zone from a bird's eye view, it's unreal. I grip tightly the railings and corners of this metal ridge, confidently sitting on the very last ledge. This is the height. This is how we sit here and enjoy the beauty of the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. Rising above the Yanov backwater are the legendary port cranes, steel giants, whose power overwhelms the gaze from the first moment. Yesterday, they were only pixel decorations in the game Stalker. Today, their real magnitude crashes down on you with all its mass. Conquering this location became not just a trial, it was a dangerous adventure. I froze and looked around, expecting to see a car or a figure below. But we were lucky. We remained alone with these titans. And having conquered the tallest of the steel monsters, I for the first time saw the heart of the zone. From above, the arch, Pripyat, the curve, the fifth reactor block, everything hidden beyond the horizon, unfolded before my eyes in one stunning panorama. To feel the pulse of the zone's heart in a way no game, no screen could ever convey. Exquisite vibrations, in unison with the Geiger counter. I go into the zone to feel alive. This is me. I don't know how to explain it, but to truly feel alive needed doing something that is genuinely right for myself. If you know what you're doing, then That work will bring you success. If you strive persistently toward your goal, you will definitely reach it. And that is my word. Yes, this evening is without doubt one of the most beautiful in my life, and it has had plenty of thrilling moments. I even remember how we walked with a buddy through nighttime Pripyat. Today it seems foolish and unjustified, but I always saw it something greater than just a trip. I always needed emotions and feelings. It's like a sickness that cannot be cured. It pulls you back to such places again and again, and you cannot master this desire. It controls your interest at the level of instinct, almost animal-like, but back to cold calculation. It's time. We slept well, and closer to noon, decided to slowly set out on the road. Right now, we're leaving Pripyat in daylight. It's very risky. We need to do it quickly, quietly, so as not to get caught by law enforcement. We're breaking out during the day, so we must act very carefully. Our group draws a lot of attention because we're many. At the city's exit, we want to see another landmark, which according to our info, vandals repainted lime green last night. I strongly do not support vandalism, and all of this is in the zone. This bucket isn't popular for nothing. Its metal absorbed so many deadly rays that today it itself has become a source of danger. So guys, see how the dot moved? That means it's 12,000 microenkins. Now it's shifted back. That's 8 million per hour. Now it's stabilizing to a normal state. People left long ago, but the machinery remained here as a monument to those days, a silent witness of how man tried to tame the atom at the cost of his own health and life. This bucket was used when they cleared debris from the roof of the sarcophagus. That's why it radiates so strongly. Let's get out of here. No need to linger and learn the hard way. Right now, we're leaving. Pripyat, you could say, our road leads to the Volkhov SAM site. That's a surface-to-air missile complex. Seems it's time to leave this city, because we still need to reach a couple more places. We are leaving Pripyat in panic all alone. We are leaving Pripyat, foolishly running away. Worthy words of a song, under which we march out of the dead city. Once again, the power lines meet us. The Stalker Highway, a useless fast road for US, and all around, endless expanse of the Polesian plains. A long journey awaits. Right now, roughly speaking, we sit in the swamp. After this, we'll need to come out by the railway, right here, at this crossing. So, let's see how it's easier. We're approaching that very railway station, Yanov, or rather its surroundings. The tracks are slowly being rebuilt. We walk along them. We need to go further south toward the Red Forest. It takes a lot of strength and energy to move actively with such backpacks. In one day of hiking, you can burn 5 to 6,000 kilocalories, and over the whole trip, lose 2 to 3 kilograms. Those are the cranes, near Yanov Station. We must be careful, but as always, Yanov Station is the heart of Stalker legends, and one of the most recognizable symbols of the zone. Here, dead trains rot on the rails, wagons rust away, and above the abandoned tracks reigns silence, broken only by the beating of our hearts. It feels as if time stopped on the day the last train left here. Now everything around breathes a tense atmosphere. All right, here's the track. The track is weak, very weak. It's not for nothing that illegal tourists come here. Some go for comfort or for beauty. Others search for truth, the atmosphere, the raw smell of metal, and the silence pressing on the ears. We're hiding from dump trucks in the bushes. This is the road we need now. That's how we have to hide. The passing driver didn't seem to notice us. I looked at his face, he looked at the road. Sudden changes of behavior are common here, but we're ready for that. Damn, the plant is clearly visible. Run, here's our turn, run. Here we must sprint. As fast as possible. It's a very exposed place. To the right. Faster. Yes, now we're in cover. From here, it gets easier. We can safely say that we've pretty effectively broken out of Pripyat. And now comes the final preparation before the dash to the power line. Through the red forest, across the restricted woods, with a wild radiation background, will be absorbing about 2 millirenkins, that is 2,000 microenkins. It's not dangerous, but it is strictly not recommended to repeat, or to do it all in principle.
My explorer name is URBANX. I'm from Germany. We on our way to Duga. Yes. It's probably my main spot for this whole trip, because I see many pictures on Instagram, and I think like, whoa, what the? I wanted to climb. I wanted to climb. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The whole experience is like a little hide and seek game. Yes. Yeah, you have to sleep in abandoned places, houses. You have to hide for like police or security or something like that. It's a lifetime experience, of course. This is URBANIX project.
So we approach the power line, and here we need to turn left, toward the main central point of the zone. Along this road, Radioactive Dam Road. For some, it's a test of endurance. For others, it's a chance to breathe freedom in a place where it seems none remains. But everyone who crosses the boundaries of the zone does it knowingly, understanding the risk, part of the game, and the reward, memories that will last a lifetime. We enter the surroundings of the red forest, the very one that literally glowed after the accident.
500 microenkins. The power line in the direction of. Heading toward the plant. We put on gloves, masks. It won't really save us, but there's a small chance it might help somehow. Better to do it than not at all. The background here is truly high. Radiation is insane. 500 microenkins.
Our path runs here because in the daytime, it's impossible to pass the needed locations on the route. It's too risky, but the radiation here is strong. God bless your health. We're walking through finished bushes here. We cannot stop here. We must go all the way, and we must walk for exactly 1 hour, roughly speaking, in the middle of the red forest. And on our path, we met, damn, such a river.
Be careful.
All right, let's go. Radioactive sludge under the trekking boots. Imagine falling into it or drinking the water. You could really turn into a little goat with 5 horns and 2 tails. More than 40 times above normal invisible danger, literally in the air. 1,200 microenkins per hour cannot be smelled or felt. It seems here you can truly lose your mind. 2 millirenkins per hour gamma plus beta. Anyway, we move. And we haven't even passed half yet. Nature and radiation left everything here to fate. We're straight in the epicenter of the red forest. 1,800, 2,200, 2,100, 2,235. Though the sum seems large, in fact, it's not that much. I think we just need to walk faster. It's about the same as a routine chest fluorography radioactive medical check completed.
We for the first time truly face such a formidable force, which is nuclear energy, gone out of control.
We're already walking calmly, though adrenaline is still pounding in the temples. The background has dropped. Now about 200 microenkins. This is basically safe. On the edge of fear and confidence. You feel that you are living the present, accepting all the challenges that your fate gives you. You take it as a gift. The background is stabilized, but here we stop to look at burned forest. This is how it burned. And these are the consequences now, together with the smoke during the fire. Radioactive particles rose into the air. Fate has its own laws. Nature and radiation merged into one deadly, beautiful spectacle. And we came to a river on the map. It is marked exactly like that. River. Honestly, I even thought, damn, what to do if this river has no bridge? But we'll have to undress and go across, of course, how else? But everything turned out much easier. And the zone, this time, smiles at us. We are literally almost approaching directly the Volkhov SAM site. Soon we'll be there. Soon means about a couple of hours of walking.
Reactor unit.
So we've already reached our power line. And we move that way, opening such a view to the transmission line. Of course, excursions are brought here, but that is not the same experience. There, everything is predictable, polished routes, the guide with memorized stories, and the feeling as if you are in scenery. The real zone opens only to the illegals. Without a break, already more than an hour. We walk. For now, everyone endures. Why stop? Only 1.5 kilometers left. We are walking through such beautiful, picturesque places. From here, breathtaking views open. Walking and enjoying this is really cool. We've already been going for the second hour without a stop, but it was worth it. Before my eyes opens the abandoned part of the air defense. Behind this mound, a concrete platform where missile complexes once stood. S-75 complexes. They could shoot down targets at distances over 30 kilometers. For its time, a weapon of incredible power. The radar spun so that at any moment from Earth, a thin white arrow would rise and pierce the sky, destroying an enemy plane. There's an inclined shaft. Descend into the basement. Oh, baby, behind this rusty hermetic door, a once secret bunker where no ordinary mortal ever stepped. I descend underground and find myself in a labyrinth of turns and doors. I immediately knew where to go. My digger's instinct did not fail. Here it is. Friends, we have arrived. Finally, we are at the place. This turns out to be the bunker of the surface-to-air missile complex. With such... not far from such cool, huge, hermetic gates. So here we are at the surface-to-air missile complex, Volkhov. And from here, after we spend the night, our path will go to the Ark. We are awaited by the largest antenna ever built in the Soviet Union. Its height more than 100 meters, and its length almost half a kilometer. It can be seen from every corner of the zone, but you cannot fly a drone for long on the territory of the Chernobyl site. There's an aeroscope that very quickly detects the presence of any quadcopter. But who could restrain us, wild radioactive beasts, given full freedom of action? This is what happiness looks like. Radioactive, damn it, happiness. So anyway, we have arrived. It turns out we see a transformer substation, not far from Volkhov. Here we settled for the night, and a stash with food. Here there are pasta, oatmeal, a filter. They left several filters like ours. And now we go again for water. On the territory of the former complex, there is a secret well where stalkers draw water suitable for drinking.
Crystal clear good water, you just take it and drink.
We do not advise repeating what you saw. Any water must be filtered. Now we go to our transformer substation because we must rise very early. We need to get up before dawn and head to the radar station Duga. I'll walk to our shelter. Here by the entrance lies a wing, zip number 33. It is a piece from one of the missiles that once kept the sky in their sights. But now in our sights, only the evening fire. And a couple of scary stories before a short sleep. Here there's another schedule of reality and another circadian rhythm. Making fire in the zone is a bit unsafe. Let's try to measure. roughly about 60 microinchins. It seems just a campfire, but together with the smoke, radiation rises into the air, and this fire can become more dangerous than being here itself.
We collected 2 liters of water. When you take even a single sip, being in the zone, it is like worth its weight in gold.
Such little things you begin to value only here in the zone. I and another friend walked along the power line, the so-called infinity line, right behind us at the end of September on the 2ATH-3OTH. And at that time, the moose have rut. The rut of moose is a scary thing. They scream like freaking beasts, roughly speaking like a bear. You walk under the power line, and a bear is to your left, but you think, behind you, 10 kilometers, nobody. Ahead, 10 kilometers, nobody. To the right, more than 20. To the left, maybe a bit more than 5. In any case, you end up with such a diameter, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and to the right, wolves, real wolves howling. To the left, the rutting moose, and you think they are bears. And you 3. The first time, you realize there is nowhere to escape. They will just tear you apart. And all that will remain of you is a backpack and boots. Here there's no insurance, and no one will help. Only emptiness, the smell of rust, and adrenaline in the blood. You go where tourist crowds never lead. You climb where officially you cannot, and it is in this wildness, in this danger, that the true essence lies. We hid our backpacks in the bushes and set off to the Duga. I hope we will manage to meet the sunrise.
Holy crap.
Calm down. When you approach such an object in real life, you realize how small a person is compared to it, but how great human thought is in its scope. Thoughts are material.
Until sunrise, 25 minutes. We must climb onto it very quickly.
And we must within 25 minutes manage to climb to the very top and not be caught by the police. And believe me, it cannot be conveyed in simple human words how massive it is and how huge no camera on the planet can capture this. This atmosphere, this reaction, and those emotions. I begin the ascent in twilight, so we have every chance not to be noticed until we reach the very top. Here stick out crowns of trees like a ladder. I move over rusty steps with the already familiar relief pattern, and meanwhile sunrise begins glowing in the distance at the station. We are inside the middle of metallic jungles. The sleepers simply do not know what to cling to. At first it seems chaos. In fact, it is a deliberate engineering system of fastenings and metal structures. Here, everything is calculated down to the smallest bolt. No wonder it has stood for so many years without any maintenance. I am already almost at the top. From here opens a truly magical view. The time has come for me to climb to the very summit. Only a few flights remain to the very top. It seems simple, but in reality, it is a very difficult and very frightening ascent. Yes, we did it. We are at the very top of the Duga.
Finally, we climbed up onto the Duga. Made it by sunrise. Look what stunning views open from here. What a sky.
From this height, you see not only endless forests, but also history itself. Once this giant was part of a secret system, and now it has become a viewing platform for people like us. Above the whole zone, right there stands a booth of armed guards, and that is bad. We shine here like enriched uranium. They can see us from there as if on the palm of a hand. We have been here already about 15 minutes, and our friends still have not climbed up. Such infiltrations demand serious physical training. Even the strongest find it hard. A brief excursion. There is Chernobyl. There is Kiev. And over there, there's a bear. This giant was built for almost 4 years and first started in '76. Imagine tens of thousands of tons of metal welded into one booming wall of antennas. But all this cost more than 7 billion Soviet rubles, and in modern money, tens of billions of dollars. And all this for one single signal capable of piercing the ionosphere and reaching 1,000 kilometers. Man decided literally to look beyond the horizon, hence the name of the station, and we will try to look at it from a bird's eye view. So now we will see. How? His drone handles this weather. But honestly, I am scared. Damn. I mean, it is not even my drone, but I fear it just will not withstand this stuff. The wind at this height is insane, but our bird is in the air. We have the last battery left. So first and last take, here we go. Camera, action. And we're on the Duga. Friends, this is Project URBANIX. Stay with us. More to come. Regime, guards, stamps, top secret mark. And now we stand on the summit, and the camera flies above us. The KGB would never have believed this, nor those who guarded the perimeter. Even in their dreams, they would not imagine it. But this is modern reality, showing how changeable life is and that yesterday's events carry no value in today's world. Therefore, we propose to live in the present day. Life is the greatest celebration we have. Its silhouette still looms over the Chernobyl forests, like the skeleton of an industrial titan, forgotten by the gods of the Cold War, as tall as a 50-story skyscraper and 460 meters long. The Duga is not just an antenna, but one of the most grand engineering monuments of the USSR, created in full secrecy. It was meant to hear the launch of nuclear missiles before they even left the atmosphere. The signal reflected off the ionosphere and returned to the receiving part of the complex, like echolocation thrown across the curvature of the Earth. For its operation, it required as much as a whole city. And it cost the budget more than the American Apollo program. That delivered people to the moon. On maps, it did not exist. Even military pilots flying over the zone did not know it. Officially, it was only a space communication antenna. But in reality, the ear of the Empire able to hear the pulse of the entire planet. Foreign media thought it was a new weather cannon able to control climate on another continent remotely. On the air, it left a trace. A ticking rhythm of 10 hertz, like the beat of a mad heart, jamming radio. Stations worldwide, it was this intrusive pulse that gave it its name abroad. The Russian woodpecker, for some, a symbol of Soviet technological might. For others, a paranoid project born of phantom radio threats. The nuclear plant exploded, the Union collapsed, and it still stands. But now, silent, never catching a single threat. It was built in vain.
Looks like we're busted. 2 guys are standing there.
So basically, we really got busted now. A guy was standing down there. And now he's already hiding behind the trees and can't be seen. Now we're quickly climbing down. We need to somehow zigzag out of here.
We've got a spark. We're staging a retreat.
They're just standing there. We need to hurry down.
There are 2 old men with sticks.
2 old men.
Let's not run. Let's walk calmly. How monstrous it is. I am amazed.
I saw at least 2 watchmen standing down there, talking to each other, holding sticks.
These scales cannot be conveyed in words. We've been exposed, but for now we don't see anyone. We saw from the roof 2 old men, 2 grandfathers in jackets like military ones. With such long sticks, they were ready, standing there.
And it is a very good sign that they were not waiting for us below. So we can already say, practically successful. We have left this site.
We're leaving the territory of the complex through the most open roads. It is a risk, but sometimes the direct path remains the only one. Every step could be noticed by a patrol. Every car could turn out to be military. Here you cannot dissolve into a crowd. Only the bare road and the forest around. The main thing is not to forget where we made the stash with the gear.
Here we left our backpacks. We'll be getting out fast.
A strange feeling of freedom appears, as if already out of the shadow. But not yet in the light. For now, everything seems to be going well. But we must not relax. We're in the town of Chernobyl 2. Through it, we will break out to our power line. We will walk through that town, which those guards know better than any of us. Here it is, friends. A little square with benches. That very town, Chernobyl 2, it is not the city of Chernobyl. It is not the city of Pripyat. About this place, nothing was disclosed. The people who worked here by military duty or for other reasons, they signed a pledge of secrecy, of military confidentiality. A secret town where officers and soldiers lived. Today we roam here freely, like wild boars. But once such a walk could have gotten us shot. We are approaching slowly from here to the checkpoint with guards. 200 m. My path did not begin with real outings, but with the game Stalker and Metro. Playing them I felt, there exists some other kind of romance, a special beauty hidden from the ordinary. The atmosphere of the virtual zone became my starting point. I spent evenings in its digital spaces, fought against the monolith fighters, and helped at Yanov Station. And those hours of gameplay left a mark in me, impossible to erase. In teenage consciousness, it became a kind of cognitive distortion. And the result of that distortion you now see on my channel. Here I share the truth I find in real outings. We are leaving the town of Chernobyl 2, leaving its secrecy behind us. This is not the end. Conditions are becoming harder. We move south toward the exit from the zone, but we are already utterly exhausted, both physically and mentally. We must endure. We must cope. We have no other path. Here lies the true difficulty of this trek. To endure about 100 kilometers and not give up. This is the road, straight to the Duga. Here is, look, the Duga. Every meter forward, this game with luck, which at any second could turn against you. You fell asleep at the halt, then you're dozing while walking, and suddenly you have to break into a run. Legs like caught in the backpack feels like lead. Strength is running out. There is no choice. Stopping equals defeat. You fall, try to hide. It finds you again, and you must run again. Through the impossible, through pain, fatigue, and blood on your feet.
He was looking into the forest, then suddenly slammed the brakes. In the Neva. But I don't know. You should have seen it.
This is a true test of endurance. Office clerks don't survive here. Such extreme is only for real men. I carefully peek out from our forest shelter and give the group the command to move out. 800 m remain to the river as... We decided not to take the official bridge because it's too risky. It is daytime, and we must catch our bus to Kiev. On our way, we meet the river as again. But here it is no longer the border, further west downstream from the drop-off point. It is time to ford it once more. Here it is, beautiful, cold water and wet sand underfoot working like a free massage salon. Every pebble presses into the soles, and after the exhausting trek, it feels almost like medicine for our battered feet. We have 15 kilometers left to overcome. Behind us lies a long route, but the final pushes come with special difficulty. What does this look like to you? As if we came to swim. What kind of stalkers are we? All of this is fine. But what about the accumulated dose in the end, as a small verdict or conclusion? One could say the zone has been well decontaminated, and our trek turned out to be fairly safe in terms of harm and health. Yet this tragedy has left its mark on all humanity, not only radioactive, but also historical. Such journeys burn into memory for the rest of life. Next we go right for 700 meters to the turn onto the gas path.
I see you approaching the central. Be careful. Wait for us near the gas pipe because there might be a swamp.
A car is driving along the central road. Be careful.
I understood you. I hear you. I see some movement, but we have remained unnoticed.
In short, things are bad. We have almost broken out of the zone, and somewhere out there, there is exposure unknown near the power lines.
Yes, just a bit further beyond them toward the pipe.
Understood. Received properly. We split into two groups to break out of the zone as stealthily as possible. This is the last village on the edge. Beyond lies only steppe, but we are here purely in transit. We will not linger, just passing by. At first I thought it was an inhabited house. It turned out to be a cemetery.
We are near the barbed wire and everything is clear here. Are you far from us?
We are about 2 kilometers following. How do you read?
Heard well. The range is working correctly.
Only about 400 meters remain to the border of the 30-kilometer exclusion zone, to our barbed wire. The same rusty and familiar, but will we manage to preserve all progress and get out without exposure?
Chiki-Brikki and DAMKI.
Now we are crossing the so-called Broken Ankle Field. This place earned its bad fame because it is all dug up so that illegal visitors who come to the zone for thrills and adventures cannot move quickly to escape or sneak into the Chernobyl. Exclusion Zone, 200 meters, and the wire, about 2 kilometers away, lies the main checkpoint of the zone. Didacki, the wire is already visible. Let's move, and we hear dogs barking at the checkpoint. It squeezed us like a sponge. Mocked, bent, broke, but we did not give up, and thus we became even stronger. This trial proved to be within our strength. What is this? We almost reached the wire, only to climb out. There the big land was already waiting for us. We promised the old rusty barbed wire to return someday, but that will already be a completely different story that I will share the next time. And at this moment, we have successfully completed our adventure. Today, we came out uncaught and proved that we can keep our word to ourselves. See you again, Zone. I quietly threw over my shoulder. Happiness for all, free, and let no one leave offended. This is Project URBANIX.